So guys, welcome to Crazy Burger. In this video I'm going to be covering some hints and tips mainly surrounding the WHDLoad facility. I've had a few issues with USB stick compatibility, sizes and folders within the actual structure itself. Without further ado, let's go. Okay guys, so this video is a follow-up to my full review that I'd done yesterday. It's really just covering a few things that I've learned since doing this video surrounding the WHDLoad issues and trying to help other people out there that are suffering from the same things. Now I have actually done a full process on how to add your own games with the WHDLoad. The only thing I must stress is that make sure you probably use a USB stick that's probably SanDisk and it's a 32 gig or 16 gig in size. If you use anything larger you may have issues in trying to sort of format to FAT32. Make sure it is FAT32. So in the video I had 3 USB sticks. Now the blue one here is the largest one, which you will have issues if you're trying to sort of format that to FAT32. You may need to get a software to actually use to make sure it is compatible with Windows. The smaller one didn't work even though there was nothing wrong with it. This one is the SanDisk Cruiser Glide, which is a 32 gig, and this one I would highly recommend to use as it worked perfectly for me. So what you might find is even if you've followed the process properly, you'll still insert your USB stick and you'll still get this message and as if there's something wrong, even though you followed the process fine. It's most likely that the USB stick is not compatible or it's not being formatted to FAT32. So if you follow the process properly, you should see folders like this. Now the A500 folder has to be at the top. This includes the WHDLoad facility. And after that, before that, you can pretty much put the games in any folders or even out with folders as you like. But what I would recommend is not to just drop 3,000 to 4,000 games in one folder, because there are size limitations to the actual folders. Now stupidly I did just that in my initial video and I couldn't see all the games. Now you can see I've pretty much added an A to Z. There's about 4,000 games on the disc, and if you scroll along you can't actually see all the games. A little bit stupid in my behalf, but I should have probably realised it's not the best way to actually find games when you're trying to find your favourite game. It's a bit of a disaster. As you can see, it's limited up to, I think it's 256 lines, and you can see we're way short of all the games that's included in the actual folder. Okay guys, so ideally you want your folder to look a little bit like this. So if you click into your USB stick, you want to have it a little bit organised. So what I've done, rather than having it the mess that I just dropped everything in, I've separated some folders. So I've still kept the A500 games folder. It doesn't need to be in this folder. You could probably take it out of that folder, it's no big deal. But you definitely need to make sure that the A500, the one that has the WHDLoad, is at the start, as you see here. This is the one that includes the information to help this actually work. Anyway, so if you go into the A500 games folder, I have separated everything out into individual folders from games that are numbered and games begin obviously A to Z. And you see obviously the folder size limit isn't a problem here because now everything's in display. However, it doesn't necessarily work for everything, because some of the folders that there are more files within that the limit can allow. So even though I've separated these, you might still find there'll be issues with size limitations. So you might need to sort of categorise some of these further still, especially for some of the more common letters that may have more games than you can actually see here. Probably S might be a one of them, I can't really recall. Yeah, see, it only actually goes so far. It only goes up to a certain stage because there is a size limit in these folders, which is a little bit of a pain. So to sort of get around that, you may need to sort of categorise that a little bit further if you want to see every game in the folder. For instance, like S1, S2, or whatever, whatever really suits for you. So always keep pressing B to go back, but here it's actually Y to go back, the yellow button. So if we go back to the main folder, what I've also done is create a favourites folder. Now you can call this whatever you like and drop all your favourite games into so that you see them right away and they are easy to get to. So I've added a few favourites into here and they're really quick to get to so that you can start instantly and play these games right off the bat without having to scroll through endless amounts of folders to try and find your favourite game. Now this is obviously a personal choice. You can Create these folders in any way, shape or form that you actually like, but just beware of the size limitations of the folders. Okay guys, something I didn't cover in my review video was the favourite and how it actually works. I didn't actually realise how it works. So it's obviously to do with the sorting. So if you can see the yellow button, there's a sort option. If you press the Y button, it sorts by either genre. Obviously it's now sorted by racing games, shooting games. You press it again, it sorts by year. You press it again, it sorts by publisher. And you press it again, it sorts by favourite. Now the favourite option here, you can see you've got an option in the X green button to actually give the ratings of each of the game out of 4 stars. Now the higher you rate it, this is how high a favourite that you see it. So for instance, if you'll see that, I've rated Alien Breed 3D 2 stars, Arcade Pool 2 stars, then obviously the other ones have only got 1 star, and that's how it goes. So if you've got your favourite game, you want to rate it 4 stars, that'll appear at the front, and then obviously 3 stars, 2 stars, and so forth. So it's another way of sort of looking at it and maybe keeping the games that you play most regularly at the front of the carousel. Okay guys, something I want to touch on is a little tip to get some games to work. So occasionally some games may not actually work or progress past the main screen because it's not recognising perhaps joypad input or anything, so you can't actually progress. It won't even bring up the sort of in-game keyboard, virtual keyboard. So here's an example of one of those which I'm going to show and how to actually rectify that issue. So if we play the game, press home to start it. There are probably quite a lot of examples just like this. This is Dragon Ninja, Bad Dudes Dragon Ninja. It basically scrolls through this main screen and you can't do anything on the D-pad. Something not even if you bring up the virtual keypad, press anything, try and press enter to go, press something on the mouse, nothing will actually work. Not sure what's going on there, but if you go back to the settings and change something, I'll show you how to actually fix this. So what to do is press home again to go back. Go back into the main settings, press menu to get into the game settings. Now I'm not really sure why this is the case, but I changed the joystick port 1 to mouse. Well, you can obviously go in and map the gamepad, but you see everything's all mapped fine. Don't really see what the big issue is here. So you could maybe solve it that, but this way seems to solve it and it seems to fix it fine. So if we change that to joystick 1, then start the game again, pressing home. Obviously it goes through to the same menu screen again. If you click one of the buttons on the mouse, it should then take you past this menu screen and then start the game proper, and you can still play with your joypad as normal. You see it's asking for F1, so bring up your virtual keyboard and go down to F1 to start a 1-player game. Take it away and you're away. And there we go, we can now play Bad Dudes Dragon Ninja. It does seem to be running just a little bit fast, so I'm not sure if that's an issue or this is how it used to run, but it seems to be quite fast for me. Anyway, this is how to sort of get around those issues that you will experience in some games. It's worth it having a look at some of the menu settings and change maybe joypad, joystick to mouse, see if it works. Definitely worth a try. So guys, something else I wanted to touch on was the save states for WHDLoad games. Now, I made a small mistake by saying you only got 4 saves for your entire library. Now, that is not true. That was my mistake. I just assumed that that's what it was because that's how it looked. However, it's not true. You get 4 saves for every single game that you own in the WHDLoad library. For instance, let's have a look. Go back to the main screen here, press home. And I can now save that. If you push down to save your game, press that, and that's saved that game. So if I jump into another game, I'll sort of prove the point. So come out of that, go back to another game. You should be able to save this and you won't see the magic pockets save there. So that was my mistake. I just assumed it was only 4 saves for the entire library. Thankfully that's not the case because that would be a complete nightmare. But that's my mistake. I apologise to anyone that watched the video and seen that. Here's the excellent Rough and Tumble. Definitely recommend this game. Great little run and gun game. So, pretty cool game. I'm going to accidentally want to play through this now because it's such a cool game. But yeah, so if we go back to home again, you can see push down to save your progress. You see, this is just for this game. Magic Pockets is gone. So my mistake, definitely 4 saves per game in your WHDLoad library. Thank goodness for that. Can't get it right all the time, guys, apologies. Okay guys, what I'm going to show you now is how to actually load a game from your WHDLoad. What you should do is, for instance, if you've got a save and you know you've got a save, press A to select the game that you want. For instance, I'm just pressed A on Lemmings. Press B to go back, and then press down on the D-pad to go into your save games, and then you can see your save games are here, and press A to load, which is the red button, and it should automatically bring you straight back to where your progress was last saved. Now this is Lemmings, which is absolutely fantastic. I love Lemmings. One of the all-time greatest, most addictive games ever. And with a mouse, it's even better. I only ever really played this game using a D-pad, probably on the Mega Drive. It's still an amazingly addictive game, so it's much better experience on an actual mouse. And if you've never played this game before and you like your puzzle games, oh wow, you are in for an absolute treat. Now these are just some of the early levels. They're fairly simple. I want to say, what a game. And this A500 Mini is perfect for these mouse games. You obviously get your mouse in the package. Perfect, and it works really well, especially for games like this. This was an absolute classic. There is a Lemmings 2 as well, which you may want to look into after you've completed Lemmings. Fantastic game. Okay guys, something I was going to provide, just as a little addition. If you want extra USB ports, I've got this really cheap and nasty 4 extended USB socket thing. It's really cheap, it's plastic and crap. I got it with the Super Console X Pro, but it works as extending the facilities to use more USB with the A500. Now this is the joypad that's connected to that, and you can see I've got the USB stick attached. See, it's not on here, it's onto this little device. Excuse the mess. If you can see onto the screen, the USB device is there. And if I sort of select it using the controller, which is also plugged into the device, which I'll show you here, it brings you into the sort of game folder. I'll sort of go back up a little bit. So as you can see, this is the games, and it works absolutely fine. So this is connected using this. You could probably add an external keyboard and other joypads, I guess, if you want to play 2-player games. It should work absolutely fine. Okay guys, just jumping in here, I've got Worms sort of playing. I've got a USB sort of dongle, USB mouse, and it's sort of moving away, as you can see on the screen. So you can use a USB mouse. This is just a standard USB mouse, nothing special about it for an HP computer. Okay guys, thanks for watching the video today. I hope you enjoyed. Just some small hints and tips to try and get you going on the WHDLoad facility. I'm definitely planning on doing a lot more videos surrounding the A500 Mini as I go. Some more tips maybe surrounding controllers that you can actually use. But for now, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.